working on mostly original parts, except that I had to hook up an external speaker because not a peep was coming out of the original speaker. I had to add an extra wire into the magazine for the head because one of the wires was not making electrical contact where it was attached down inside. And after replacing the power cord, this is a vintage circa 1940s or so military grade wire recorder, and it was greeted by some neat recordings of someone just saying testing 1 2 3, but still, let's rewind. You might ask, well, why isn't anything happening? Here the amplifier is doing something and nothing's happening. I put it into rewind and there's no activity. You think, well, that's disappointing, something doesn't work now, does it? But you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally it just... It waits a while because it realizes that people may just go straight from playback to rewind without even thinking, so it gives plenty and more than plenty of time for the wire to make sure it's completely stopped before it does anything. Then, playback. And still, it's going to wait a while because it doesn't want the wire, any possibility of it breaking. It's contained within the magazine, and even inside the magazine it has little stopper areas to kind of help the wire to stop and... Power light bulbs burned out apparently, but oh well. Pretty amazing if you ask me. Still working, and I did do some lubrication. It's pretty remarkable, really. Someone made sure to test the machine, I'll tell you that much. Let's just say they tested it successfully. Still have not really looked too far into the original speaker. If it doesn't work, I can always replace it. But it's quite something. I don't want to record on it yet because I don't want to record over these original recordings before I transfer them to digital. I will transfer them all to digital at some point. It sounds like kids have played with this machine as well. So obviously these are not military recordings. These were probably recorded sometime after its use in the military.
Howdy doody time. What's the matter? Well, don't cry about it. Look at this.
I wonder how old that kid is now. Probably a senior citizen. Fascinating. If there's enough blank wire, I may do a test recording, because it looks like that's the end of the recordings and it's just blank now. So, wow, that is pretty remarkable considering this. It really is a testament to the build quality of the MIL SPEC equipment, because this, aside from literally replacing electrical wires and using a different speaker, the actual original components are still good. The original capacitors, I tested them with the ESR meter. The electrolytics are still, they're not leaky. Even the little old mica capacitor. I haven't tested record yet, but I think I will be soon, because there's a lot of blank wire right here. And I'm glad you can hear the sound as you rewind, so you can find your place easily. But this is just really remarkable. I could go straight to rewind and rely on the timer, but I'd rather not risk it, and I still wait for it to stop before I put it into rewind position. But I'm going to do a record test on the blank portion of wire. I'm going to be using first the signal injector right here. Man, this thing is really noisy. And then in record mode, that serves as the first official record test. Makes me nervous though when I'm rewinding the noisiness of it. It just seems like it's just really intense. But let's wait for it to rewind. I'm guessing it recorded. I don't even think it. I think this thing, judging by the schematic and by the innards, I think it's DC bias. Yep, it recorded. Those were the signal injector sounds right there. So this machine does record successfully. I don't have this weird sized military's jack. The radio jack is a regular 1/4 inch, but these other two are strange. I connected a microphone to guess which input. For kicks and giggles, carbon. There's a certain sound in the recording. It's kind of a sound. Listeners may have been able to pick it out, and some of you out there have probably already recognized exactly what I'm going to be saying about that sound. May have recognized it from some lower quality cassette recorders. It's proven just by that sound alone, and by seeming addition of background noise, combined with seeing no bias oscillator coil or other such circuitry in the schematic or in the machine, that this particular wire recorder is indeed DC bias. Now this brings a very curious point, the fact that this is DC bias. According to our old friend Wikipedia, the first patent for AC bias was filed in 1921. Man, imagine the machines then, the old telegraphones. Obviously, it did not go from there, and it was because of the other stuff, or because of the other aspects of magnetic recording at the time and technology. That achievement was basically ignored. It never really caught on. AC bias, the first rediscovery of AC bias seems to have been then again in Bell Telephone Laboratories in 1937. But it was kept silent. Then in Japan, a paper was published on AC bias in 1938 and received a Japanese patent in 1940. Then finally, Marvin Cameras in the USA also rediscovered AC bias independently in 1941 and received a patent in 1944. And again, AC bias was rediscovered in 1940, actually that would have been earlier than again, but it was rediscovered in 1940 in Germany. So this puts some interesting cases as to when this machine may have been manufactured, or at least designed. There's always the possibility that AC bias was known by the manufacturers and that they had figured that there was no point in putting it on here, since it would mainly be used for recording probably communications, speech, and perhaps to save space by the additional circuitry, because obviously this machine, the way that it's put together, is definitely meant to be very compact for its time. Let me unhook this real quick. I got this and it was missing these screws here and missing the screws that held the top cover on. Have the top cover down there, but since it was missing all the screws, it's easy to go ahead and just open the thing up. The way it's put together is just beautiful. All metal construction, the gears, metal, big motor, even the flywheel on the motor, and look at the circuitry inside. Everything is coated with this coating that helps protect it over time, or it helps protect it from the elements, so to speak. It's beautifully constructed. Anyway, but I saw a thread online a while back where someone had one of these wire recorders, when, of course, guess where he found his? Years ago in the dump. And that brings on to another kind of point. One of those things that really gets on my nerves is when people throw away such valuable pieces of equipment. This one wasn't thrown away, obviously, but the fact that another one of this particular machine was found years ago by someone in the dump just shows that these rare, valuable devices and other similar things end up getting in the dump so often. It really upsets me. They really should be preserved. But anyway, that's beside the point. Okay, here's just another section to show some more recordings I made on this machine. So I'm still using an external speaker. I have discovered this speaker here is actually bad. The original one. If you look over here, you can see why. There's literally a break in the cone right where the wire would go down to the voice coil. So unfortunately, this 5-inch Jensen is no good. Unfortunately also, I do not have any spare 5-inch speakers on me, for they still reside in Arkansas. So I still have to use this one. And I was going to put the speaker in here. The only thing is this one is 4-inch, or this one is 5-inch. So, anyway, I made some more recordings. Any moment now.
To make the recording with the carbon microphone input, let's see how this comes out. Hello, this is the recording being hum and hum. I don't know if it's the unshielded cable or if it's something else, but anyway, let's see how this recording comes out, you know what I'm saying? Testing with the dynamic mic. Get a lot better performance. Obviously, it's not getting some crazy hum like it did using the Blumman carbon one earlier. Today's date for any interested parties out there is in C Grinder Deed, the 31st of August. I'm unplugging the speaker so I can just have it pick up my voice. It probably has a hum. Testing. Hello? It might have a hum. This is a recording on a recorder reproducer unit. The model of this recorder reproducer unit is RD-11B/GNQ-1. This machine, I believe, was made in the 1940s and would have been used, or the same model would have been used during World War II. It's quite an interesting machine to be used during World War II. I'm going to try and see if I can make sense to it. I don't know if it's at the head or if it's just noise of everything else around it. It's certainly constant. Today is to be remembered as the day of road closed, because as I was coming home today, I was greeted by road closed. So I went all the way around, been Hammond Farm Parkway, all the way Newton Street, back on the other way onto Dudley, only to find the road was so closed I had to turn all the way around, go back, and turn in on the road closed on the little lane that they left open. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this recording. Goodbye. Oh yeah, now the speaker's plugged in again. Goodbye, huh?
Quite something, this wire recorder. Next up will be a test of recording music. Fortunately, during my attempt to record music, the wire managed to snap, unraveled some and snapped inside the magazine. So I have the cover off the magazine while it's inside the machine, so I can kind of watch it while it's inside. We're going to try going into playback mode. It's not cued, so it's not going to play anything. I want to put a load on the amplifier here, so let me plug the speaker in. See, this is the thing that sucks, is whenever it gets unraveled some, the wire does not evenly come off one spool while it evenly winds on the other one, making it increasing the likelihood of it snagging again. You can see it kind of jump every now and then. I'm afraid it's going to catch sooner or later and snag and fall off. Or get cut. And I'm afraid that it's now a threat. Somewhere along the way, the evenness has been compromised. Wow, there's maybe some tension there. Even if tension, back tension on there, it still wiggles. I'm going to try going into rewind mode. Hopefully it does not go crazy and snap. Let's see. We just have to see. I'm going to brace myself. It looks like once it went into rewind mode, it became more even. So I think that if I were to be able to play this wire through to the end and then rewind it, it should come out a little bit more even. That might be a good precautionary thing to try. Well, there's the music that I recorded. You can hear. It wasn't recorded at a very strong level though. So we'll try playing that back. Well, it looks like the back and the reverse spooling can somewhat be fixed with the playing it through, even if it's reversed while playing it, and then rewinding it. So I'll probably just have to play it all the way through and then rewind it, kind of reset it. We'll see if it managed to record it all right. Probably too weak. It wants a strong signal on the line level input there, on the radio input. So when I recorded music off my phone, it didn't record it very strong. Matter of fact, I recorded it so weak, it's not even a good demonstration. It's a minimal wave song about Los Alamos, which I thought would be appropriate on here because World War II, Los Alamos, the Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb. It recorded alright, it's just recorded weak because it wants a stronger signal. And where the recording has stopped was because that's where the wire broke. Or the wire snagged and broke. So I can't trust this thing 100% until, well, I have got to be able to play it through, and we'll try another music test.
Cabinet F is miscellaneous headsets, one microphone, one set of headsets without mic, and miscellaneous tubes. Cabinet G is paper towel, soap, and scouring powder, miscellaneous, so forth. Cabinet F is 4 containers of antifreeze, 1 gallon of Florax, borax hand soap, 1 intercom set, some paper cups, hand cleaner, scouring powder, and etc.
Etc. Nice. Do we have another one coming up? The earlier recording was completely unexpected. I thought it was just blank.
1, 2, 3. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Pretty good microphone. Picking up the radio. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Unbelievable.
1, 2, 3.
Unbelievable.
1, 2, 3. Probably run out of wire before then, didn't it? Well, I know it's only good for now. I mean,
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. These will definitely be transferred to digital. Now I'm rewinding the wire. The area that I had earlier spliced had broke again, so I re-spliced that. I recorded music on there stronger now, and after it rewinds it, I'll play it back for you. Unfortunately, this particular song that's coming up, I don't know the name of. It was recorded off the Rhythm Room program off the radio back in 2012. Prepare for playback. Oh, yeah, whatever. Kind of anticlimactic there. Gotta wait on the timer, of course. Oh, I'm actually running it off of 110 volts, not 120, for kicks and giggles. Still running it off of Variac, although I can plug it in nowadays. But let's just wait, it'll start playing pretty soon. I was recorded originally onto a cassette off the radio that played anyway. Pretty interesting, isn't it? It's quite fascinating. Wow.
4-inch tubes, 5960, 543, 0576. Part number GL6807, electron tube. Ends cabinet E. Cabinet F is miscellaneous headsets, one microphone, one set of headsets without mic, and miscellaneous tubes. Cabinet G is paper towel, soap, and scouring powder, miscellaneous, so forth. Cabinet F is 4 containers of antifreeze, 1 gallon of floor wax, borax hand soap, 1 intercom set, some paper cups, hand cleaner, scouring powder, and etc.